Good morning. We're headed to the graveyard. So I have a couple of things that I want to do here in the graveyard today. The actual step-by-step workings will be on my Patreon. That being said, one of these spells was kind of just decided this morning, so we're just gonna use what we got, what we find around here. I really like minimal spells. I feel like the more complex they are, the more I get lost in details that end up not really serving the spell. Because I travel full time, I don't have a designated graveyard or cemetery that I come anymore that I can work with the spirits continuously. I have, however, been to this cemetery multiple times. When I first came, I immediately made friends or made a connection with this tree spirit. It's a very grounding spirit. I've always been connected to trees, but I think most of us can say the same. If this was my first time at a graveyard, I would be leaving an offering at the gates. It's kind of an offering to all of the spirits, to the guardians, and to kind of the genus loci that reside here. Also, let me show you what I usually bring to the cemetery anytime I kind of go, and especially if I'm doing workings. Firstly, I always have charms on me. I mean, I kind of always have charms on me in general, but especially anything that has to do with death work. Either charge them here or work with them in the kingdom of the dead. The only time I don't wear head coverings in a cemetery or a graveyard is if I really know the spirits there really well. Otherwise, I'll wear something on my head. If I forget to wear something on my head, which, you know, it happens, I'll always do a quick Passover or a quick cleanse over my head, especially right after I leave the gates. This is what I usually bring to the cemetery anytime I go, or anytime I'm planning to go to the cemetery. First off, I have these oracle cards. These oracle cards are by the Blackened Moon. This is the Memento Mori oracle cards. This is specifically to communicate with the spirits of the dead and ancestors. I love this deck. This deck is fantastic and is very straightforward. I really, really appreciate this deck, and I have had a lot of really cool results with it. So these are wrapped in one of my handmade tarot mats. It doubles as a case or protector, as well as something to fold out and read on, which has come in handy a lot. I have a tutorial on how to make these, so if you're curious, I will link that up here and in the description. The next thing is always an offering of some sort. I have a little bit of honey here. Most of the time I bring coffee or tea that I've already brewed in order to pour out either at the gates, just right next to it so nobody's stepping in it, or at, you know, the tree that I'm offering. But I didn't have a to-go cup today, so it is honey. It's just going to be a dollop. Please don't be just emptying honey everywhere. That's horrible. So some kind of offering. Coins also work, a little bit of water, and if you didn't bring anything, singing a song or just saying hi and kind of doing an energy exchange, that also works. Cleaning up is a really big one, so if you didn't bring anything, you can clean up trash, and that's much appreciated. I have this little bag that I crocheted. It has all the things that I'm planning to use in these spells, as well as some things that, again, I always bring when I go to the cemeteries for death work. And one of the things that I have been really liking more recently is bringing my pendulum, and I've been trying to work with different forms of divination recently. So my pendulum has come off of my altar and into the cemetery with me more and more often in the past couple of years, and I've been really liking it. One of the things that I've noticed is A lot of people tend to overcomplicate the craft or overcomplicate spirit communication when something like a pendulum works so well. I mean, at least for me, I know some people don't like them, but a pendulum works really well because it's just very straightforward yes or no answers. You can walk in and, you know, after you've programmed it to tell you which is yes and which is no, you can be here and say, are there spirits here in the cemetery that would be willing to work with me for this working today? And that's a yes, thank you. Are there spirits in the cemetery, the tree spirit, that would be willing to work with me today? That's a yes, thank you. Are there spirits here that are buried here that would be willing to help protect from all of the things that they are experiencing? That's a no, thank you. Is the tree spirit willing to help me? Okay, that's a big yes, thank you. That's an example of kind of how I would be interacting with the spirits. Like I said, most of the time the spirits of the dead, if I don't know them, I'm not going to ask them for help unless they are like a big historical figure, or if they are maybe known to be a spirit that likes to work with practitioners. Other than that, like, I don't know these people. I don't know their families. I'll definitely, you know, maybe set out small offerings like little rocks or pebbles, things of that sort. But for the most part, you know, we want to still stay very respectful in cemeteries, especially when you don't have family there. So working with the fauna and flora and working with the general energy of the cemetery or the graveyard is going to be a lot better for you instead of working with a direct spirit of the dead for the most part. Ancestors or historical figures are usually the only exceptions that I make. Otherwise, I have some oils in here, and then I have a couple of the items that I'm planning on charging. Yeah, that's pretty much it that is in this bag. And then lastly, I have my grimoire. This is going to help me in plenty of different ways. First of all, I think that just bringing it with you kind of infuses a little bit more and more of your energy and more of the energy that you bring it, the places that you bring it, as well as, you know, if there's incantations that I need to remember, if there are meditations or experiments or readings from my oracle card or from my pendulum that I get, then I can write that down. Or if I happen to come across a spirit that does want to work with me, or maybe I just come across a gravestone that I think is really interesting. There's plenty of those that I just want to research this person and just see who they were in their lifetime. And I've come across some really cool people, headstones in my time, and it's just been really interesting, and you can kind of find, you know, like the history of the local area and people who used to live there, and it's really cool. So write those all down in my grimoire and then check them for later. But that's kind of all that I bring to the cemetery, so I'm gonna go say hi to this tree spirit, give my offering, and then see if it's willing to work with me to do these spells that I'm hoping to do today. Okay, here we are at the tree. I really like this tree. First things first, offering just a little bit. Since it's food, you know, you don't want to be leaving a ton of food, but I'm just gonna put a little bit, like a little bit, maybe a cap size, into this little crevice that kind of looks like it's made for offerings. This is where I would usually pour a little bit of my coffee or tea. I think I'm also gonna have to warm my hands up before I do anything because my hands are very cold. Next thing is asking permission, asking if the spirit will help and is willing to help. So that's when I pull out the pendulum. Am I connected to the spirit of the tree? Yes, thank you. Are you willing to help me with these spells that I'm going to do today? Yes, thank you. Do both of them have to come back for this working to work? Yes, thank you. Do both of them have to bring you offerings? Yes, thank you. Okay. Is honey an acceptable offering? Yes, thank you. Is coffee an acceptable offering? No, thank you. Is tea? No, thank you. Fresh water? Yes, thank you. Is a song an acceptable offering? Yes, thank you. Is a poem an acceptable offering? Yes, thank you. Okay. Thank you. So now we know what the tree likes and dislikes. So with that information, I am going to jot that down into my grimoire. So I just communicated, and what I got from the tree just now is that both of the people that I'm doing spells for right now need to come back to this tree to give it offerings. I asked what kind of offerings were acceptable. It said honey, water, songs, or poems, but it will not accept coffee, tea, coins, or incense. Or oils or anything of that sort. So it wants only these specific offerings from these people, or really I think in general. Yeah, so it's willing to work with me, and that's a plus. So the two spells that I'm trying to do there's one that's a protection spell. This person just kind of needs general protection, but especially in a specific aspect. And so we're going to be doing that, and just something that they can carry on them or wear or something. The thing is that they are ongoing spells, so they are going to have to be there's going to be upkeep, right? So if you want to recharge them, if you kind of want that energy to replenish, they will have to come back with the charm and set it on the tree and give those offerings at least once a month. I don't think is going to require, I don't think there's going to be a breach in anything if they don't. I think it's just the energy will diminish. So it's not going to be this whole thing. No, they didn't make the contract. I just asked about the replenishment of these charms. But I appreciate this tree a lot because, I don't know, I think it's seen me 3 different years in 3 very different places of my life. So I just did some of the spells. They were super, super simple, but, I think, like I said earlier, we kind of get in our heads of what a spell should look like or what it should feel like. And in reality, the more we do it, the easier it's going to be. So just practice, take it a step at a time. So that's my cemetery day. It's not complex. It's very simple, very straightforward. A lot of it is just listening. Well, why am I not hearing spirits? Why am I not being able to connect to them? And it's well, maybe just be quiet and listen. Just being quiet and listening, there's a lot more value to that than I think a lot of people realize, as well as accept the answers that you are given. A lot of people will ask the spirits questions, and when they get a no, we kind of feel entitled of well, what do you mean no? It's well, the spirit's telling you no. They don't want to work with you. They don't connect with you. They don't want to help you in this work. And a lot of people won't accept that answer. So, for example, I am in a cemetery that is in an area that is generally just very religious and a little more conservative. I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty good at understanding the overall energy of if it's a yes or if it's a no, or how the spirits feel about me, having a practitioner in their area. And because this is more of a conservative and more of a religious area, I already knew any particular spirit that resided here was willing to work with me. I already knew that it was going to be a no. The first time I visited this cemetery, they were very iffy about me, which a lot of them are. A lot of cemeteries are like that. You know, a lot of religious people, they don't want to be partaking in witchcraft and magic. Like, that's not something that they want to do. It doesn't hurt to ask, but, you know, I'm going to accept that it's a no. It's getting a little chilly and my hands are going numb, so I'm going to head back. I might stop at the cafe and grab something to drink, kind of ground a little bit. After doing workings, it's always good to ground, so I suggest usually eating something sweet or salty, or just something that you can kind of enjoy, you know, and bring you back into your body and into the human world. I hope that you got something out of this, or at least just enjoyed. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Be kind to each other. May your gods treat you as you've treated others, and live curiously. See you in the next one. Each time you're sick. My mother told me to protect things by